knows that we are the voice of the Seminoles here in the Tampa Bay area. So let's welcome in Florida State's athletic director, the great Michael Alford. Always looking dapper, my friend. Sorry I'm in a T-shirt, but it's the only FSU stuff. This is my game T-shirt. I've been wearing this to Florida State games for quite some time, so I had to dress appropriately. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
You always look great, my friend. You always are just one of the most stylish guys in the Tampa area. Every time I'm in Tampa, you're always dressed to the T, so I appreciate it.
Well, that's just because of my lightning gig. I have to dress up for that, but otherwise, I'm good. So you're probably, are you overlooking the stadium right now? Is that I don't know if
right now to my right, I'm watching this practice.
Okay. All right.
Overlooking that, putting my eyes on that a little bit. And right in front of me here is the new Dunlap Football Practice Center. So watching, I get to see that construction every day, and it's not good for my director of capital projects, Ben Zerden, because I'll see 4 guys taking a break in the shade, and I'll be yelling down the hall like, "Why are they taking a break? We got to go."
Is it the same for Norvell too? If you see somebody miss a block, you're on the phone. Like, what are we doing?
I'm right here going, what are we doing down there?
You got eyes on everything.
I got a great vantage point here, and then I go walk down to football and look into the stadium at that. We had a very successful sneak peek. Over 2,500 people came in, and nothing but rave reviews about Doak Campbell and what we've done. And that was important for us to get people in because it's such a different entrance. Doak now has a grand entrance. I don't know if you saw it, JP, with the –
Yeah, I saw it. It's amazing.
We were able to keep the spear quiet before the sneak, which we've never kept anything quiet here that we're doing. So it's really amazing that we were able to do that. But nothing but rave reviews so far. But it allows us to also get people in the building. So operationally, we see movement, what we need, more security, concession, and all the above. So get us ready for next week.
Well, give us a little overview of what you've done. I know we've gone from 80,000 to 67,000. It's now premium seats. And as I tell everybody, this is the wave of the future in college football. I mean, these huge 100,000 seat stadiums the seats are coming out. The premium areas are going in. So Florida State, with your leadership, is ahead of the curve now. This is already done. I think Florida's going to follow suit with their renovation, of course, behind us. As usual. So tell us a little bit about with everything that you've done.
Well, when you came to Doak, and our total attendance was about 75,000 seats. And right now, we're around the 68 mark. So we didn't lose as much as you thought going in. And we can replace that with some standing room onlys and get the number back up. But it really, when you look at who was attending and where our fans come from, and we did a survey, and they wanted more options. We had steel metal bleachers, and we had some club seats that we were never more than 50% sold out in. And the club was built too small. We had 5,900 club seats there in the south end zone, the Champions Club, but the club was built that holds 2,500 people. So the experience wasn't what it needed to be. And then we had the suite options, and that was it. So now coming in, we now have field level clubs. We have founder loge boxes. We have founder suites, chairbacks on the west side, and went in and did ramps, ADA, more ADA seating, got the stadium up to code. And it also allowed us to do the fan experience with the concourses, the concessions, the restrooms, everything we were able to do because we ask a lot of our fans. We understand it's a commitment. 60% of our fan base travels over 3.5 hours to get here, much like you do. So, and hotels around here aren't cheap. That's the biggest thing I get. People tell me to do something about the hotels. I just shrug my shoulders like I don't control the hotel market. But, getting people here, we know it's a monetary commitment to come support the Seminoles. So we got to have that fan experience that they have, much like at Raymond James, much like they do in Miami and Jacksonville, to make sure we replaced all the video boards, all new video boards in the system, put in loge boxes and totally reset, put in new seats that are breathable. I know people like they're black, they're hot, they're not. We do studies on these things, and the seats are going to be, they're great, they breathe. And so just getting that fan experience up to par, because when you look financially, the average SEC school makes over $13 million more than we do on a game day throughout the year.
on a game day.
Yeah, the Big Ten makes 9 on the average. On the average, not the top end, not the bottom, but the average SEC school and average Big Ten school makes 9 and 13 more million than we do. And the reason they've gone in and modernized their stadiums, and we just needed to modernize it because you knew what I was spending on deferred maintenance every year just to keep it up.
Yeah,
it just made more sense to go in and modernize it and have that opportunity to do it.
Well, I can't wait to get in there. It's much needed, and I'm looking forward to seeing everything, including the spear, which looks really cool.
It's remarkable.
Yeah. So the field is going to be new as well. So you spent a good penny on we're going to put down a whole new field. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir. It's going in right now. We call it lay and play. It's the top of the line. It's what they put down for Super Bowls, major soccer events, where it's thick cut. And that was one of the alternatives we had, to be honest. We laid sod. There were just some areas, and especially in the middle of the field, that it just didn't take root to my standards and our standards here at Florida State. So we always had this in the background going, okay, we can do this. And we're going to be doing sod every year. So really, we're going to be going to this hybrid cut sod every year because of all the events we're going to be doing in Doak Campbell moving forward. That was part of the renovation, is now we can get 18-wheelers down to field level to be able to do concerts. And I've already got some announcements coming in the future, but we've already got like 3-4 full stadium events coming.
Oh, nice.
I call it dirt season, January to April. We're going dirt season. But we have some events coming, and so we're going to be resodding the field every year. So it gave us the opportunity to put the very best product in the world down for a playing surface that we can have that student-athlete experience even better moving forward.
Michael Alford joining us here, Florida State Athletic Director. I can't even imagine the pressure of doing all this and having the first game be Alabama. National television audience is like, you don't have any wiggle room. Like the rains come, all this in construction. Like what has that experience been like getting ready for this big game?
Well, we have a great staff, and we've been forecasting it on it. And people say, why did you do all that you're doing? Over $450 million in construction going on. Why did you do it now with this coming up? I'm like, there's never a good time not to.
Right.
We have to just go. Last year we ripped down the whole west side, but we had to make sure that we were, and this is 4 years in making, that we were ready coming out of the House settlement and everything, and looking into the future of collegiate athletics, that when the new call it game plan came, or the new industry and changes within our industry, we were coming out of it more prepared than our peers. So we had to invest into the football program. And to be honest with you, JP, our fans we have sold more season tickets this year at this point, about 2,500 more season tickets at the end of July than we had at the end of July last year, coming off a 13-0 year.
Wow.
And
the premium stuff is mostly sold out.
So yeah, mostly sold out. And the reason it's all not sold out is because you hold back some, just if there's a seating issue or something, you always want to have some in the back pocket to take care of issues. But yes, we are pacing ahead and maybe going to catch more season tickets than we've ever sold in the last 5 or 6 years since Coach Norvell's been here.
Wow.
So our fan base is really excited about the future of our program and really excited about the changes. And that's something that we're going to continue to look and try to model. But now, when you used to come to Doak, you only had about 3 options. Now you got about 15 different price points, different game experiences. You get to choose what experience you want, and we're going to deliver that.
Michael Alford joining us here, Florida State Athletic Director. Michael, I've been talking about this for probably 3 or 4 years since Florida State started the lawsuit and everything with the ACC, and I don't think people understand what exactly this was all about. The national media, I think, has put out a lot of false narratives about this, and I tell people all the time, if your particular school was propping up the rest of the conference and your media rights were driving all the money and it was equally distributed while you're trying to compete with the SEC and the Big Ten, you'd want to get some changes done too. And I applaud you and your staff for having the courage to do what you did, because I know you didn't want to. Everything that you got in this settlement, you asked for beforehand. You know,
Correct.
you didn't want to go this way, but the ACC was not listening. They were not listening. So at some point, you had to go to court. And I would guess right now you sit in a situation that you got most everything you asked for. You took all the slings and arrows, but was it? And I'll sit here. I'll say this. I think the snub by ESPN and that whole agenda-driven committee was directly tied to the fact that you wanted to get out of the ACC. It would have cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. I think it was a hit job. That's my personal opinion. And to do that to athletes, to schools, to fans is reprehensible. But so you've taken a lot of slings and arrows, but I think we're better off than where we were. And explain why.
Yeah, without a doubt, JP. And a lot of these conversations have been taking place. When I first got as athletic director and sitting in those rooms at the league and having the data I have, JP, you know me, I'm an analytical data guy.
Yes.
I knew what we were worth. I knew what we brought to the media agreement and within the conference financially. So I knew our place within the conference. I knew everyone's place. I knew what everyone brought to the contract and what was the value of every institution and our institution. And behind closed doors, we asked for our fair share. We said, look, here's the SEC contract. Here's the Big Ten contract. Here's the Big 12 contract. Here's the future. Here's when they go back for another bite at the apple to renegotiate before we even get to renegotiate again in 2036. So what are we going to do as a conference to get better? We have to get better, and we have to look at how we grow our media rights. And so all this took place. And given the facts that we were, what our value was, and to compete amongst our peers, who, we consider Alabama, the Ohio States, the Michigans, that's our peers. Yep. And the Georgia. So to compete with them and to represent this conference, we need to be financially, have the opportunity to be more financially right to compete with them. And that was very important to us. And it is anyone, I don't care who, it could be anyone within our conference has the ability to go earn those media dollars. The way we set it up is the way we always wanted it. It wasn't come play Florida State more. It was give us the opportunity due to the media rankings to earn that media money. Right. So we can go compete. And that was what our argument was. And I hate that I had to get to as far as it did. But for us looking for the future, I represent Florida State University.
Right.
And I've got to give Florida State University the very best opportunity to be successful. And that was part of where it got to where it was we got to be successful. And we know the future of college athletics. And to be successful in the future, we need more resources to provide like our peers are across the country. And that was the end of it. And it got to where it was. It's a great model. I'm a firm believer in the model that we have. Anyone can earn the media contract. We separated it. Anyone can go have success on the field and get paid different, get rewarded for your success. So it gives us the opportunity to garner some of those finances and resources out of that media contract to provide back those winning edge resources to our student athletes to compete on a national level.
And that's where it is now. It becomes money, right, Michael? If you want your football team to be good, your basketball team, all of your sports to be good, you've got to fund it now. You've got to pay the players. So how important is it to have that even with the House settlement? I know there's $20.5 million being split up, but there's more money available to the players, correct? I mean, there's NIL.
Yes. 100%. The pay for, we are the pay for play now. The $20.5 million.
Yeah.
And now working through our contracts. And it was fortunately, I have time in the NFL, many years in the league and familiar with it. Bruce Warwick, who is our chief of staff for football, was with the Rams for 15, 20 years with Sean. I mean, he's got experience. So we treat it like we're an NFL franchise. And that was very important in our contracts to look at how we're doing it, how we're breaking down our revenue share. One thing that gets lost too, JP, and I'm going to jump back a little bit to the lawsuit. Football was football. Yeah. I was always going to take care of football to be competitive nationally. I would figure that out. What was going to get hurt was the rest of our sports. I wasn't going to be able to finance them at the level. Lonnie Alameda is our national championship competing softball program, national championship competing women's soccer. I mean, you look baseball, you look across the board, beach volleyball competes for national championships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look at those athletes, that's who was going to get hurt. And that's why I was so wanting to get this lawsuit done, or the opportunity to get the resources, so I can continue to provide those resources to those student athletes so they can compete at an elite level. Football and basketball are going to get taken care of. I'd found a way, because that's the media contract. Who was going to get damaged was those other 18 sports. I call it the other 400 athletes that I have on campus. That's who I wanted to protect through that process.
So, Michael, now moving forward, obviously I think there's going to be some major conference realignment. What do you think with in the coming years, and where does this leave FSU? Are we committed to the ACC, or we open to other options?
You know, we have a great partner. Jim Phillips does a marvelous job as a commissioner. We've been friends for 25 years, and really his leadership, and through this discussion, I call it, about the future of where we needed to be. He and I never lost our friendship. You know, we were very transparent, very open communication. I applaud him for that. He was a driving force behind getting all this settled behind the scenes, and I really applaud him for what he's doing in his leadership. You know, what at the end of the day, I still, like I said earlier, represent Florida State, and we just need to make sure we're in a position. We got to take care of ourselves. Whatever the future of college athletics is, we need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. We got the right facilities. We got the right coaches leading our programs. We're financially supporting our programs at an elite level, and that we have the opportunity to whatever comes, whatever the future of college athletics is. It starts internally to make sure we're doing the right things. So we're really focused on, let's make sure we're doing the right things internally, so we can present the Florida State the best light, whatever opportunity comes our way.
Yeah. Well, Michael, you got a big game coming up with Bama. What's it going to be like for that place? Is going to be full. The buzz is going to be ridiculous. God, I hope the thunderstorms stay away. It's going to be hot.
As I tell my wife, like, we live in the tropics this time of year. I know. You never know what's going to come up, and knock on wood. At a 3:30 start that time of day in Tallahassee, Florida, you never know what's coming your way. It could be clear as day, and within 30 minutes it could change. As you know. So hopefully everything stays away. But we're excited. The buzz is already in town. People are already coming in town this weekend and going to just stay the whole week in Tallahassee. And that's what's great, because we are such a driver to the economic price of Leon County and Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. We produce over $100 million a year in football economic support to our community. So that's so important that we continue to bring in these games. And you see Georgia on our schedule. I'm in talks with some others, peer institutions, and doing home and home. And that should be coming out soon in the next couple of months. We're close to signing some of those. But it's so important that we could just continue to bring events like this to Tallahassee. I mentioned I got third-party events coming this spring that's going to be full stadiums. So we need to do our part as good community partners. And Alabama coming here, the buzz and what it's going to bring, and the light that it's going to shine on not only this region, state of Florida, Tallahassee, and Florida State, and put us there in front of millions of homes, so we can showcase who we are. And that's what's so important, that we do everything the right way, and we're behind the scenes working on it hard, JP.
Well, I can't wait to get up there next week. We'll be doing our show live over there at Bowden's on that Friday. I know you got a board meeting.
I'll stop by. I'd love to stop by and see you.
Awesome. That would be great to see. And I can't wait to get into Doe Campbell. It's going to be fun. And last year was tough on all of us, probably more you than anybody with all the building going on. But there's brighter days ahead, and I can't wait to get back to that championship level.
Yeah, I really love the direction of the program. I love the attitude of our kids this year. The culture, the leadership, some of them are showing. I mean, they're really stepping up, and it's about a team. And I really like the direction we're going. I like some of the pieces we brought in, but more importantly, the type of people they are. As you know, Florida State better than anybody. I mean, Florida State is about the people. and
Yep.
such quality young men and women here. And that's what all of our coaches represent. I talk all you look at our coaches staff from top to bottom, we have the best head coaches in the world running our programs, and the culture they have amongst each other and the ideas they share and everything else, it is exactly what people try to emulate here. And that's what's so important to me. Somebody asked me about a basketball coach, and when I hired Luke Laux, what's important to me when I hire coaches, they come in and fit the other ones. They have to. They come in and be siloed. They got to fit our culture here at Florida State. That's so important. And so I'm really looking forward to showcasing Florida State against Bama.
Yeah, that's what I love about Link and Luke. You know, they go back to the glory days and the legacy of Coach Bowden that you know still it just is over this university and its athletic department, right. And I love that part of it.
Yeah, you don't realize the impact he had until you live in Tallahassee. And not only Florida State, his core values, of course, resonate. The program, the athletic department, resonate in the university, what he stood for. I think he had such an impact on the university, but the community as well. And his core values really resonate through everyone here. And that's something important. And that's something I talked to the conference about. You know, you brought up realignment. And I talk about our core values and how we need to represent Florida State and put us in the best opportunities, just like he would. He'd go play anybody. He was always putting Florida State first and showcasing the brand and growing the brand. And that's what I talked to the conference about. Is like we're Florida State. We need to grow the brand and continue. I'm going to look at opportunities that put us in the brightest light. So wherever we should come in within the future of college athletics, and there's still stuff going on. Don't think realignment has stopped. There's still a lot of discussions. You know, we're going to put Florida State first and give us the best opportunity to be successful in the future.
Well, I'm very confident you're the man to do it, Michael. I appreciate your time. I know all the things you're doing in front of everybody and behind the scenes as well, and it's tremendous. And I applaud you for your courage. I love that we have a D1 athlete, a great baseball player, as you were, and an absolutely top-notch businessman. You've been through the NFL. You have the best connections around. We could not be in better hands. So I'm so glad you're the man now in this critical time for the university, and congratulations on all the success. And I can't wait to see what happens here in a couple Saturdays. Thank you, partner.
I can tell you, thank you, and thanks for all you do down and keep preaching the Noles gospel. Yeah, go Noles.
We are the voice of the Noles here in Tampa Bay, so we got you. Thank you. Absolutely. Let's go. Thank you, Michael. Michael Alford, FSU athletic director, right there.
How about that?
Dude.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. And he is, I mean, he's just, you know, like he's got the suit on. He just emanates power and confidence, you know? I just love it. That dude is in charge. I mean, I'll tell you when he walks into a room, he carries it. He carries it. And that means something. It means something when you go into a room with, you know, Michigan and Ohio State and Georgia and all the, you know, Alabama, all these presidents and athletic directors, you know, he's got his FSU pin on. He looks good. He's got that and he's ready to go.
I wish I still looked good in a suit, JP. I just don't look. My body shape does not look good in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
I look like Laurel Hardy.
About that.
I look like Laurel Hardy.
He's a D1 athlete, man. He stays in shape. He works out, and you know when he goes down and talks to the teams, they understand this is a guy that's been in the fire. This is a guy that's been in the fire. He's just not some corporate schmuck that got put in front of an athletic department. And we've had those at Florida State.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Far too many of them in that athletic director chair that don't understand it's not just corporate. It's about the players and providing the best experience for the players. Michael talks about that all the time. He says, if we, you know, NIL is what it is, and there'll be teams that outbid you for certain players. He goes, but if I provide the best college experience for these players, if I provide the best facilities and our core values and our coaches are what we, you know, this Bobby Bowden legacy, we're going to win. And he's 100% right. You know, you're in the South, you got a great, you got a sphere around you in terms of talent, especially in football. You have a great legacy that Coach Bowden has left, whatever you wanted. Yes, it's been a while. but 2013 is our last national championship. We've competed, far beyond that. But even, 2 years ago for the snub, I mean, that's a team that should have gone to the playoffs as a top 4 team, 13-0. And it looks far removed from that. I get it, but it's not far removed. These things change all the time if you're doing it the right way. If you're putting the money into it, doing it in a smart way.